You are listening to The Originals on Earshot. This is Abhijit Majumdar.
डॉक्टर डैन को आज पहली बार किसी ने थप्पड़ मारा है।
ये इंस्पेक्टर हमारे मेहमान हैं और मेहमानों की इज्जत करना चंगेज लाला बखूबी जानता है।
अरे शांति शांति, 2 मिनट शांति, उसके बाद क्रांति। अपना खून दिया मैंने इस देश के लिए, अपनी जिंदगी के कीमती साल लगा दिए इस देश की आजादी के लिए। बापू के साथ मैंने भी लाठी खाई है 42 में। ये देखिए, ये अगर एक मासूम की जान बचाने के लिए मुझे यहाँ इस तरह पागलों की तरह गिड़गिड़ाना पड़ेगा, अपॉइंटमेंट लेनी पड़ेगी, तो लानत है, सब व्यर्थ है।
He did not have a father or godfather in the film industry. He arrived in Mumbai with nothing. Today he is one of the most celebrated actors, not just in India but the world. His train of performances started with his electric, award-winning role in Saransh, passed through hit after hit in Bollywood like Ram Lakhan, Dar and Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, and earned praise abroad for roles like Gurinder Chadda's Bend It Like Beckham, Ang Lee's Lust, Caution, and David Russell's Silver Lining Playbook. It has now reached the station where his life's journey began. His own state, his home, Kashmir. He plays an elderly, idealistic Kashmiri Pandit man in Vivek Agnihotri's The Kashmir Files. The movie is about the genocide of Pandits at the hands of Pakistan-backed Islamist terrorists in the 90s, even by his own high standards. This is perhaps his most compelling performance. Welcome to the originals on earshot.in. I am Abhijit Majumdar. We have with us Anupam Kher. There are very few on whom the moniker original sits so comfortably. Hi Anupam, a very warm welcome to the show.
So you are a Kashmiri Pandit in exile. You have been extremely vocal about the genocide against Kashmiri Pandits. In your cinematic journey from Saransh to Wednesday and to now, how important is the movie, The Kashmir Files, for you?
So there are two answers to this, one as an actor and one as a person who hails from Kashmir. Even though I was not born there, even though I grew up in Shimla, but it is like people, at least I'm in India, at least like people in Gujaratis, Bengalis, all over the world, they are settled and they are, if something happens to there, because I'm answering this question like this because a lot of people say, "Arey, ye to Kashmir ka hai nahi, to Kashmir mein raha hi nahi tha." So that is to make you feel defensive. But I have every year gone and spent 2 months every year in Kashmir, and also because of the 1948 Kabaili that jo hua tha invasion in Baramulla tak pahunch gaye the ye log Pakistan se. Looking at that, the reason that my parents shifted to after they got married in 53 was because of that. So even at that time, we were forced to leave Kashmir because my uncle and my parents used to stay in Baramulla, and that's where they had almost reached.
Right.
So as a person, it is important to me because this is a truth about exodus of Kashmiri Pandits, which people had hidden somehow or the other. And when I say people, it's judiciary, it is media, it is politicians, it's intelligentsia, it's the intellectuals, it's the writers, etc. Everybody tried to just put it under the carpet. And it was not a simple thing. It was not 10, 12 people who were killed. There were a number of people who were killed. There were a number of people who were raped, women raped, houses burnt. And then on the 19th of January 1990, more than 4 lakhs of people were thrown out of their houses in one particular night.
Correct.
And in that, my mother's younger brother was also there. And it's the biggest exodus genocide in independent India. And first few years, so nobody paid any attention to it. Then because of the social media, at least once in a year, we started trending on
January
19th of January.
Right.
Yeah. I made a video about it. Haan, main Kashmiri Pandit hoon, about 6 years back for Times Now. And that went viral. So everybody was aware, but nobody knew what actually had happened because it was kept under wraps. The Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister went to London at that time. It was very well orchestrated. And when Vivek came to me with this film, and when I heard the script and he offered me this role, 100% I had to do this because I had to be part of this story to be told to the world.
How long back was this? 3-4 years? When we
3 years back, around 3 years back.
Okay.
Around 3 years back, yes. And then we were supposed to start it earlier, but then pandemic happened and COVID happened and we could not start, and we started after 1.5 years. So I said yes to him, though I knew that he was not only coming to me just because I was a Kashmiri Pandit. He also felt that I will be suitable for that role, for that protagonist role. It is when the days of shooting started coming together, and also when Vivek met me in New York, when I got to know that he's doing the research on the film and he's talking to various people who were thrown out. And he, as part of that, he spoke to me also about my family getting impacted by it. Then I realized that, oh my God, this is something very big, very important. As an actor, I needed to decide whether I want to use the craft in the film. Of course, craft will always be there. Or I want to do it. What do I do? And it happened automatically. It happened organically. I did not want to act in it. I did not, because unless you can't show 400 people running away, you can't show 400,000 people running away, you can't show what actually happened. So I had to use almost my soul to portray that. So it is an important film from that point of view. When people, even in Saransh, I had used craft.
How?
Saransh was the most spectacular film before that, but because it was I was getting ready to be an old man. I was doing all those kind of things. Yet it was also from within. But Kashmir Files certainly needed both actor and the person to be on the same page.
Which is the most powerful scene in the movie for you?
Plenty. I think there's that silent scene where in the refugee camp he eats biscuit and he cries and he slaps himself. I think there are no words in it, but it's very powerful. The scene is where he feels cold and he starts singing that Kashmiri song. Even his death scene, I think most of them are very, very powerful. When he's sitting in the truck, and when we were doing the truck scene, they were actual Kashmiri Pandits who were in the truck. And when they were told that these two people are hanging, the lady next to me started howling and crying very badly. I said, "What happened?" He said, "Because the person who was hanged was my cousin brother."
Oh man!
So
the calls.
So I think most of the scenes are, because it was not switch in and switch out. It was not getting into the character and getting out of the character. It was remaining in that person. My whole body language had changed. I had changed my language, the way Kashmiris speak. My Hindi is very, very spasht, jaise kehte na. But Kashmiris speak in a certain manner.
Correct.
So, but it could have not happened if the screenplay was not so powerful.
Who did the screenplay?
I think Vivek. The juxtaposition of including today's time and what happened at that time was very brilliantly done. Because I feel that no actor can rise above a script. If the script is not good and you do whatever, whether you act with your soul or craft, if it's not good, if it does not resonate with the audience, it does not resonate.
Would you tell us a little bit about your own memories from that time, from when this entire genocide was happening, the exodus was happening?
Used to always feel an outsider. I used to always feel when people, even as a small kid, when people will say, "Acha, aap India se aaye ho." Even way back in mid 70s or late 70s or mid 80s, people will say, "Aap India se aaye ho."
Whenever you visited your home.
Yes. Yeah, because I used to go in Srinagar. That address that I say 84 Srinagar, Karanagar, is the actual 84 Karanagar is my actual house in Srinagar. And that was my mother's side. My father's side was in near Haba Kadal. And I used to, because it was 2 months long holiday, I used to go and attend a school, the national school in Karanagar. So I will go and know the prayers. And I used to feel, but you never worry about it. You are a growing up person. Only when I went in 85 to do the shooting of G.M. Prakash's film, which had nothing to do with Kashmir that way as a theme, that I realized that things have changed. I felt in Kashmir's aura, I felt cracks.
Okay.
I felt the soul was getting wounded. I saw barbed wires. I saw suspicion in people. I saw fear. I saw some hidden fear when we were shooting. I was made aware of suspicious people, and ikka dukka koi death honi shuru ho gayi thi. And then I have memories. Otherwise, I have beautiful memories of Kashmir. I have memories of Handwara. I have memories of Sopur. My mama was put together. They were the overseers there. I have my one of my uncles was the professor of medical college. One of my uncles was the professor in a girls' college. They were all teachers. My beautiful memories of Baramulla match factory, where these cherries used to come in the house through the windows. I could just stand up in the house and cut it and take it. My memories of Kheer Bhavani, that famous temple. My memories of Nishad Garden. It was amazing. It was amazing because wherever Dal Lake, it is the most beautiful place in the world. And I have traveled the whole world almost. So I had great memories. But about 4 years back, I was not allowed to get into the valley as I was stopped at the Srinagar airport because I had gone there for that the students had wanted to put the flag on that house. I don't know which, NIC or NIA or something like that.
NIFT.
Yes. So I was at the airport for 4 hours. They did not let me go through it. And then I wanted to tell the story of Kashmiri Pandits. I knew that my uncle almost went mad because he had built his whole house after years and years of saving money. And within 1 year of that building of that house, the whole trouble had started. And he went a little haywire. Because I think why Pushkar Nath also, because my father represented a very simple person of Kashmiri Pandit. And that's, so amazing memories, but very wounded memories also.
Your houses, your homes still remain, your maternal home and paternal home?
No, my Karana, when I went, CRPF was there, residing there. Now I think one of my cousin sisters who runs a school, I think has bought over. But my grandfather's place, which was my favorite jaunt, his study and his puja room, that house has been finished. There's nothing left. We have one of my uncles used to collect photographs, so we just have memories.
What are the challenges you now face with the Kashmir Files? I hear that there have been PILs against it. People are trying to ban it. Maharashtra is trying to stop its release in the theaters.
It will be very unfortunate if that happens. You can't make Kashmiri Pandits suffer once again. What happens? It's not that a film cannot take away all the memories and all the wounds of theirs of leaving their homes. You see, the point is when you leave home, you don't only leave a concrete, cemented tin house. You leave behind memories of corners, of smells, of abo hawa, of your opening the window, the visual. It's you can't. And so film is not going to change that they will suddenly feel that it's okay. But sometimes when catharsis happen, when somebody makes a film like that and you cry wherever Jammu or all over America, people cry because they have not even had the chance to have catharsis about it. So I don't think any politics should play again, because at that time we can blame Sheikh Farooq Abdullah, we can blame the system, but if they stop it now, then it will be a biggest human tragedy. And I don't think it will happen. I believe that no government should be able to ban it, because whom are they pleasing? The terrorists have not, it is not that terrorists have only killed Kashmiri Pandits in today's time. The terrorists have also killed the Muslims. The terrorists have killed other faiths, the Sardars, other people, Muslims, mostly young officers, police officers, young people, whosoever has tried to sort of live a life which is normalizing their feelings. They've killed them also. So whom are you trying to please if you want to stop this film?
Correct. Hundreds of
This whole
Kashmiri Muslim police officers, army men have died in the
yeah,
conflict. Or also
exactly. That's not.
ordinary
And why
citizens.
shouldn't Kashmiri people get the benefits of all the people who are getting it all over India? Why shouldn't infrastructure help them? Why shouldn't hospital, educational institutions help them? So how much exploitation of normal Kashmiri Muslims can also happen? So I don't think it should happen because because I think how much can you please people? And we keep talking about freedom of expression, freedom of expression. We have allowed other films which did not even show iota of Kashmiri Pandits' tragedies earlier and made films on terrorists. We have made films on terrorists and sort of applauded them, given them awards also. Here is a tragedy, Holocaust of the Jews. People made Schindler's List and got recognition. It is not that those 6 million Jews came back to this thing or something happened. No, but at least they have made museums out of that, and people, so that people go there and pay visits. We need to do that. We need to make these 400,000 Kashmiri Pandits feel better, or the coming generations to have museums. This is where it happened. It should not happen, and I don't believe that it will happen.
Did you get calls to stop the release or stop the screenings?
Once the police officer called me up and he said some people came to meet him, and so I said the film is censored, the film is well researched, and I think there is no problem. It's time that we tell the story of Kashmiri Pandits and Kashmiri Hindus, because I see a similar kind of a situation happening in other parts of the country. The problem is that when one talks about terrorists, one is not talking about Muslims. One is talking about terrorists. So one should not be made to feel defensive about talking about terrorism. Terrorism has affected the whole world. Whether they go and kill those small little kids. I remember then Pakistan mein jaake wo terrorists ne sare 145 maar diya tha. I wrote an open letter and which got printed in Dawn. The day before yesterday in Pakistan, 160 people or 60 people died. So it is victims are from every class of strata of life and society and religion. So it's important. It's an important happening of the city. We make films about every other heroes. We make films about Prithviraj. We make films about other people. We have made films about smugglers. We have made films about glorifying the things. We have made films about biopics about all kinds of people. Why shouldn't this story be told and shared with the whole world?
Anupam, it brings me to the question: why haven't movies like the Kashmir Files or the Tashkent Files, why haven't they been made before in Bollywood?
Because we all want to be popular with the world. We all, and including me, we all don't want any. 99% people are peace loving. 99% people like to be liked. If we feel it's not working out with the thing, we don't want to do that.
It's not that you are being disliked. In fact,
it's not as suitable. No, it's not as suitable. What I'm trying to say, it is not a suitable situation for this. Unfortunately, those same people who stopped exploring. Look at it. I'm so upset that Supreme Court has rejected the appeal to investigate. With all my respect for Supreme Court, I feel that it's so sad that they have twice rejected the appeal to be investigating about the problems of these Kashmiri Pandits. So when you say that why have these films been made, because you need people with convictions, with guts, with the balls to sort of make a film which does not suit everybody else. It does not. At the end of it, I think the trade is much more important than what you believe in sometimes. It's easy to sort of please a section of people than to make a things which really, really you believe in. And Vivek ki bhi calling hui hai. Vivek used to make a different kind of cinema.
Correct.
So, but I'm glad that he had this calling from Buddha in a Traffic Jam, where I was part of it. And then he made Tashkent Files, and then he made this film. He will be remembered, I think, for people. He will be remembered for the kind of cinema that he is making. But look at the kind of opposition that he is getting from all quarters.
Yeah.
Look at the kind of threats that he is getting, or the film is getting. It's people are upset that it will expose what happened 30 years back, and it has. Pallavi's character Radhika Menon is we know such people.
Yeah.
We know what happens in student bodies. We know that those journalists who sort of created a situation where they said, "Oh, Kashmiri Pandits are well-to-do families, people. That's why the Muslims are upset or something." Like
They were the upper class oppressors. The
exactly.
Pandits.
So we all know that. Yeah. So how will people don't want them to get exposed? But it is the truth. Truth will always bother. It took us more than 200 years to get freedom. Lot of people died. Lot of things happened. But truth finally did come.
You have been an
कहीं तो शुरुआत होती है.
बिल्कुल. Exactly. You have been a very, very outspoken nationalist in Bollywood, where it seems you're a very rare voice. I mean, now people have started speaking out a bit, but you have been speaking out at a time when actually nobody have been speaking out, and that too at a very nice place in your career. I mean, you have been taking that risk. We have seen often people make stick their neck out politically when their careers are on the downside, or are not, they're not doing too well. But you, often at the peak of your career, when you have been doing extremely well, you have stuck your neck out and said what you felt like. So has it affected your career, your work, how people inside the industry view you?
So first of all, I'll tell you why I am the way I am. I am 8 years younger than my country. I am 67 today, and India is 75 in the 75th year.
Right.
When I was born, India was 8 years old. Yeah, so I grew up in an atmosphere where India had just got independent. We were still talking about how we got independence. We were still talking about Bhagat Singh. We were still talking about Gandhi, Nehru, and Lala Lajpat Rai. We were still saying Ishwar Tero Naam, Allah Tero Naam. That was the prayer of this thing. And the headquarters of Western Command was in Simla. I had gone through I was 7 years old when China war happened, 62, then 65 Pakistan war, 71 Pakistan war. I know what it meant to be a patriotic, nationalistic Indian. My grandfather still used to say that "Is tarah se humko azadi mili," etc., etc. So that is it. It's in my bones. It's in my blood. I can't change that. I can't change the DNA of my blood, where it will be very dramatic to say that where Tiranga is part of my growing up years.
But it must have hurt your career. It must have hurt
say that again.
Career. It must have hurt your career.
It has. It did. But it's okay. I've come from a gutter. जो उसको क्या जो आदमी जमीन से आता है उसको क्या कौन हिला सकता है? I know my job. You have to at the end of it, you have to respect yourself, then be popular with people. I need to respect myself, and that can only happen if you stick to your convictions. कोई किसी को क्या रोक सकता है? मैं तो खाली हाथ आया था 37 रुपए लेकर 3 जून 1981 को बॉम्बे में उतरा था. उस हिसाब से तो I am a करोड़पति and I am doing so well. I'm trending for the last 6 hours on Twitter because of my birthday. I have put a picture of myself, of my body. I have 522 films in my kitty. So मुझे कोई क्या डराएगा?
डराते कैसे थे? या तो
नहीं डराने का मतलब कोई क्या डराएगा जी, इसके साथ काम नहीं करना, ये तो बहुत बोलता है देश के बारे में, इसके साथ काम नहीं करना. It doesn't suit certain people. Fantastic. I worked for 2.5 years in America. I'm doing the biggest film called Suraj Varjate as Unchai right now. I have just said no to a series from America. So it depends on डरना किस बात से? That's what I said. कि क्या मुझे कोई डराएगा? बड़ा अच्छा शेर है ना कि उम्र भर अपने ही गिरेबान से उलझने वाले, तू मुझे मेरे ही साए से डराता क्या है? So in fact it makes me much more powerful when people say अरे यार इसको नहीं लेना, ये तो बहुत कोई बात नहीं. मैं तो जाके सड़क पे खड़ा हो जाऊंगा और डुगडुगी बजाऊंगा और नाटक करना शुरू कर दूंगा, कुछ पैसे आ जाएंगे. मैंने जिस दिन डिसाइड कर लिया कि मुझे घर खरीदना ही नहीं है, मैं किराए के मकान में पूरी जिंदगी रहूंगा, I became the richest man on earth. I live in a rented apartment. This is the most powerful feeling. I have few friends who are very happy with me. There are certain people who are. The problems comes because you want to be liked by everybody. And that is not possible. It's a sad realization, but it is the truth.
You live in a rented apartment?
Yes. I decided about 6 years back कि मुझे घर खरीदना ही नहीं. क्यों लगे किस लिए खरीदना है घर? तो that suddenly liberated me. कि इतना पर मंथ किराया है मेरा, वो तो मैं किसी ना किसी तरीके से दे दूंगा. ऐसा कोई टेंशन नहीं है. मेरे पास एक गाड़ी है, उससे ज्यादा चाहिए नहीं. मेरा कमरे में एसी है, मेरे सब कुछ ठीक है. हमारी जरूरतें हमको छोटा महसूस कराती हैं. So when somebody said me, I was the darling of everybody. I was the darling of media. I was the darling of the whole film industry, etc. But I'm not anymore, which is fine. And it's not anybody's fault. I need to be popular with myself than with the world. That is the first thing that I need to do. And that can only happen when you stick with your convictions. If मुझे कल को कोई बोलता है कि अगर कल देश के लिए किसी कोई सिपाही मर रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है, how can it not affect me? If somebody is talking good things about the country, how will it not make me feel great about that person? If somebody is for their own agenda criticizing the country, how will it not upset me? How will it not upset me that our government of India has done the most remarkable job of people stuck in Ukraine? Most remarkable job. And then some people sort of say that, "Arey yaar, ye nahi kiya, wo nahi kiya." People have become criticizers. There are two kinds of people in the world. One is doers and other the criticizers. Criticizers think they are doing lots of things by criticizing, and doers think they are doing a lot of things by doing. I'm a doer. You see? तो ये अभी उस तरह की अभी है, ये सोशल मीडिया ऐसा हो गया, बाकी लोग ऐसा हो गया. The person who is criticizing will get 20 cameras will go to him at 2. A nice person is never. It's okay. It's easy to slot people. अरे ये तो राजश्री वाले हैं, ये वेजिटेरियन फिल्म बनाते हैं. इनकी सबसे बड़ी ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्में इनकी हैं. सबसे बड़ी ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्में. They change the trend of the marriages. They change the trend of the people, how they live. एंड दूसरी बात जो हुई है, जो हिंदी जो चीज सशक्त हुई है, हमारे को महसूस कराया जाता था कि आपको अंग्रेजी नहीं आती है तो इसलिए आप कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, आप जो है बेवकूफ हैं. आपको अब हिंदी, आप क्रिकेट की फील्ड देख लो, कबड्डी देख लो, एथलीट्स देख लो, सब हार्टलैंड ऑफ इंडिया से आते हैं और उनकी आंखों में आंसू आते हैं. ये सब ये जो सर्टन काइंड ऑफ पीपल है ना, जो एजुकेटेड समझते हैं और जो हीन समझते हैं, जो अंग्रेज, अरे ये हिंदी में बात करता है, ये भैया बोलता है, ये श्रीमान जी बोलता है, ये नमस्ते बोलता है, कैसे हैं श्रीमान जी, नमस्ते, प्रणाम, कैसे हैं. अब प्रणाम वालों ने इनकी ऐसी तैसी कर रखी है. सो जो हमको पिछले 50-60 साल से जो हमको ये हीन भावना देते आए कि यार हिंदी मीडियम स्कूल से हैं, यू आर नॉट द मोस्ट हैपनिंग पर्सन इन द वर्ल्ड. आई एम द मोस्ट हैपनिंग पर्सन इन द वर्ल्ड मैन. मैं आज अगर पिछले 37 साल से बरकरार हूँ, थैंक गॉड आई वेंट टू हिंदी मीडियम स्कूल बिकॉज माई हिंदी इज परफेक्ट एंड दैट इज व्हाट आई एम सपोज्ड टू डू. सो it depends on it makes me more powerful if people don't like me for me loving my country. If they don't like me for this reason, then to hell with them. Then they need to deal with themselves. I don't have to worry about it. मैं अभी भी झोला लेके किसी के पास खड़ा हो जाता हूँ, कहता मुझे काम दे दो. 4-5 लोग तो मुझे काम दे देंगे. मेरा दोस्त मुझे, नीरज पांडे मुझे काम दे देगा, सूरज बरजातिया मुझे काम दे देगा, डेविड धवन मुझे काम दे देगा, भट्ट मुझे काम दे देगा, और मैं कोशिश करूंगा तो मैं बाकी लोगों से भी काम ले लूंगा. आज काम की कमी नहीं है. आज मेरी चॉइस है कि मुझे नहीं करना ये फजूल की चीजें. आई विल चूज व्हाट आई वांट टू डू. टुडे व्हेन आई डू एन ऊंचाई, आई नो दैट इट इज गोइंग टू elongate my life for another 10 years because the subject is so brilliant. It has the 4 legends, including me, as the main protagonist, Mr. Bachchan, Danny Danzokpa, Baman Irani and Anupam Kher, or directed by Suraj Barjatia. What an amazing feeling. It's the most powerful feeling. I'm talking to Abhijit Majumdar, who is a friend of mine. तुम तो मेरे दोस्त रहे ना. तो दुनिया में जिस दिन ये समझ में आ जाता है कि दोस्त जो हैं वो आपका साथ नहीं छोड़ने वाले, चाहे आप देश की बुराई करो या चाहे देश की अच्छाई करो, वो साथ नहीं छोड़ने वाले. और हम तो भगवान के भी, tell me one person, single person in the world who is not criticized or who is not disliked. Nobody.
No, you have been with me, Anupam, through my thick and thin for years, decades now. And thank you for that. Thank you. Thanks, Anupam.
Bye.
The Originals on Earshot.